So if you are trying to get 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, or if you're stuck trying to get to 1,000 subscribers for a very long time, this video is going to be for you, because there are 3 proven steps that are essentially guaranteed to get you to 1,000 subscribers. Now, the first 2 steps are going to be the fastest options, but the 3rd step, in my opinion, is the best option, but it takes a little bit longer. With that being said, all 3 of these are essentially guaranteed to get you to 1,000 subscribers. So if you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button, and let's jump into it right now. Okay, so the first method of getting to 1,000 subscribers is to simply pay for them, but don't do it in a way that's gonna get your account deleted or shadow banned. So what you can do is you can create a video in YouTube. It can even be just a very short video, basically just describing what the value proposition of your channel is. So you go to your YouTube studio, you go to content, and then you hit the promotions tab right here. And then you would click on new promotion, and then you would click on audience growth, and you'd change that if you want to, just to make it look as appealing as possible. I thought this was pretty good. This is gonna be kind of an interview video that I did with a client that we got results for. And then you would go here, and you definitely do not want to promote to a place that is not a first world English speaking country. So you would delete India, United States, Canada, United Kingdom. Those are pretty good. South Africa, I'd probably delete. These 3 are pretty good, and that would be completely fine to stay there. You'd click no, this promotion doesn't have an EU political ad. Then you'd go to advanced targeting, and you can target here if you want to. For instance, if you have like an all-female audience, you'd obviously just want to target females. But overall, I'm just gonna keep it just like this, because I think for my channel, for instance, I think everybody wants to start a YouTube channel of all ages. When it comes to interests, I'm gonna type in social media, and yeah, we can choose social media enthusiasts. But of course, you wouldn't do that, right? You would either just not do anything, because honestly, the algorithm is pretty smart, or you type in whatever your niche is, and then add language or leave empty, just go English here. And then next. And then you'd go to the total budget. Now, this is where you would have to feel comfortable doing this, like in terms of how much you feel comfortable spending. But with that being said, generally speaking, to get to 1,000 subscribers, especially if you want first world English speaking subscribers, right? You want subscribers that are actually the demographic that you're targeting, assuming you are targeting first world English speaking people, it's probably gonna cost you about $1,000 to $2,000. So I'm just gonna put this at 2,000, and we'll let it estimate the performance. And yeah, it's saying this many estimated views. Just from my experience, almost everyone who does $2,000 does end up getting to 1,000 subscribers. But you could also do $1,000 and get to 1,000 subscribers as well. You have to be a little bit careful with the targeting. If your goal is to just get there as quickly as possible, you don't really care about money or anything like that, then this would probably be the way to do it, because you could literally do it in like a couple days probably. And you can have pretty much 100% guarantee that you can do it in a couple days if you're willing to spend, a lot of money. But if you want to mess around with it a little bit, typically it's going to be a smart thing to maybe do $200 and then set your end date budget a week or 2 out, and it'll just spend a little bit of money per day, and you can get a good idea of the subscribers that you're getting into your channel. Now, best practices here is to already have some content on your channel, at least 1 video, but preferably even more videos, because if they come to your channel, you probably want to have other content that they can watch, because they're going to have more of a reason to subscribe to you. So that's definitely best practices here. Additionally, these are not the best subscribers in the world. I would say that these are maybe 5 out of 10 value subscribers, because they did discover you through an ad. Most of them know that it's an ad. Some of them are a bit confused. They might be even kind of confused about how the ad even works or anything like that. So I'd say the value of these subscribers is about 5 out of 10. I need to be very, very clear when I say this, because you might think like, oh, this is a cheat code. I can just get the subscribers and get monetized and blah, 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 blah. And yes, you can get the subscribers. These subscribers can be used to monetize, but the downside to this is the people that subscribe to your channel are very likely not going to be as loyal to you, and they're very likely not going to come back to your channel as much as if they just organically subscribe to your channel. And so 1,000 subscribers that are bought like this are not going to be as powerful as 1,000 subscribers that organically subscribe to your channel from long form content. I want to make that very clear, because I do think that this is probably a good way to grow your channel relatively quickly. And a lot of my students have tested this out, and a lot of the time they'll find find that right after they do this, it is quite a bit harder to grow. It's almost like they're essentially starting from zero or very close to zero, but it doesn't permanently like disable their channel or anything like that. Because if you were to buy fake subscribers, for instance, from one of those fake subscriber websites, which you absolutely under no circumstances should ever do, please do not do that. It would be terrible for the YouTube algorithm because it would basically send a signal to the algorithm that none of your subscribers actually want to watch your channel. But if you buy them from YouTube directly, I think that it has a bit more nuance and it kind of understands that those subscribers were actually bought. So this is a way where it is literally guaranteed, as long as you have enough money and you're willing to spend that money, to get to 1,000 subscribers. All right, guys, in the editing process right now, and I just wanted to mention that if you're struggling to grow on YouTube, you're having trouble getting views, subscribers, making money, or even picking a niche, I'm gonna be hosting a free one-time live workshop that goes over exactly how to help with that, how to finally profit from YouTube.com. So make sure to mark that down, and also make sure to click the link in the description and the pinned comment below so you don't miss out. And if you attend live, you'll also have a chance to be the one person I pick for a real-time channel audit once we move into the interactive portion of the workshop. And if you feel unsure about what niche to choose, or you're worried that your niche might be too broad or it's not profitable enough, then this workshop is for you, because I'll be giving away the Niche Validator Pro 2.2 completely free. This is the latest and most optimized version of my GPT-powered niche validation tool, and it helps you instantly test and uncover profitable YouTube niches before you waste time creating content that doesn't bring in leads, sales, or money. It's smarter, faster, and trained on even more data from real profitable channels, and I'll be giving it away completely free, but only at this live workshop. And just a heads up, this might be one of the last times I give this tool away for free, because I'm planning on making it into a actual software. So if you've been on the fence, this is definitely a good time to pick it up. Now, during the workshop, there's a full presentation on how to grow on YouTube, followed by a Q&A where you can ask me questions directly on Zoom. And people do ask a lot of questions, the majority of the time about niche, and many people walk away with niche clarity during the session itself. And the same strategies I teach are the ones that help clients like Nicole, who went from 85 subscribers to $85,000 in a single month, Seth, who went from years without a viral video to immediately getting 300,000 views right after starting working with us, or Davis, who scaled from 100K a month and was able to remove himself from recording. And even people who aren't clients, like Isaiah, were able to make $20,000 only using the free content and live workshop strategies. So make sure you show up, click the link in the description or the pinned comment to register, and add it to your calendar so you don't miss the chance to grab the Niche Validator AI. And if you missed the date, that's okay. Check the link still to see when the next workshop is happening, or to sign up to a list that will tell you when the next one does. So see you Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now back to the video. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is a way that is also pretty much guaranteed. It's not 100% guarantee like this, but it's essentially 100% to get to 1,000 subscribers, but it also has its downsides too. So way number 2 to get to 1,000 subscribers, where it basically guarantees you're gonna get there, is going to be YouTube Shorts. Now, basically what you do here is you'd post a bunch of YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are significantly easier to make than long form content. You could probably make about 10 YouTube Shorts in the same amount of time it takes to make a single long form video, for instance. Just as an example, I could probably cut this video up with a tool like Opus Clips automatically and make 10 to 20 shorts just from making this video, right? So you could do something like that, have an AI like ChatGPT or Claude basically come up with the titles and stuff like that for the shorts, and then post them, and it's just a matter of time before you get a short that takes off and you get some subscribers from it. And by the way, if you need help with the multiple videos, click the link in the description and the pinned comment below to attend the live training. Everything's completely free. We're giving away a ton of value. Look forward to seeing you there. This is literally like super easy to get subscribers. Like, it's almost impossible to mess this up, especially if you use a tool like Opus Clips and just cut up your long form content. Or you could just go and look at some of the most popular videos in your niche and kind of remake them a little bit. Obviously change things up here and there, but kind of just remake those shorts videos. It is significantly less competitive to get views and subscribers with shorts than it is with long form content. And there's a reason for that. Shorts is super easy to get views and subscribers, but it's almost impossible to monetize effectively on shorts. There are only a few channels out there, probably just a handful of channels that are making really good money just from YouTube shorts alone. Whereas there's literally millions of people out there that are making tons of money from YouTube long form. So of course, YouTube long form is more competitive, but there's a reason for that because it's way easier to make money from. So that's the first thing about YouTube shorts is it's pretty much impossible to make money, but it is a good way to get views and subscribers. The second really big downside to YouTube shorts is the subscribers that you do get usually are quite low quality. Now you might think that those subscribers would be higher quality than the people you get from ads, for instance, that we talked about in step 1. But actually, I would argue the subscribers from YouTube shorts are probably about a 3 out of 10 quality. They're even worse than YouTube ads if you do long form ad promotion. So if you really just badly want to get to 1,000 subscribers, it's just very important for you to get to 1,000 subscribers and you want to do it very quickly, you can post YouTube shorts. I'm not going to be that mad at you if you do it, all right? I don't think you need to do it, but if you really want to, it's just like a life goal of yours to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's just gonna make you so happy and motivate you. Then go ahead and post YouTube shorts. But to be honest, you definitely don't have to do it. And honestly, there's a ton of downsides to that because very rarely do people, watch your YouTube shorts and then end up watching your long form content. Very rare. You really have to have a lot of finesse to make that work. And this brings me to number 3, which is the method that I recommend, which is the hybrid personal brand method. And this is a way of making content where it's essentially inevitable that you're eventually going to get results. And there's a very good chance that you'll get results right away. So just as an example, with my brother, we actually started him off just a little bit ago on YouTube. And from the time he posted his first video to hitting 1,000 subscribers was about 20 days. I believe it was 19 days. And I believe he was monetized either 20, 21 days in, something like that. And he used this exact method. And just to keep this in perspective, my brother is 50 years old. He's not tech savvy, never made a video before in his life besides just recording videos with his phone, barely even watched YouTube. He's more of a TV or Netflix person. And he was also highly skeptical that it was going to work for him. And yet his very first video that he posted with this method absolutely blew up, got over 800,000 views to this day, probably hit over 1 million views eventually, and it's absolutely crushing for him. And plus, 1 month after posting his first video, he was already making $214 a day. Now, by the way, if you need help making that first video on your channel, I actually have a free live training this week. Click the link in the description and the pinned comment below. It's literally going to be a Zoom workshop where you can ask me questions. It'll be like we're on a Zoom call with each other. And we're going to be going over all the most important things, all the things you shouldn't do, right? So the things you should do, the things you shouldn't do, which is probably even more important, a step-by-step guide to actually making these videos in an easy, effective way. And also I'm even going to be giving away a free AI that I spent like 80 hours fine-tuning in the last few weeks, completely free to you guys, but only if you attend. So click that link in the description and the pinned comment below to check it out. So this is the hybrid personal brand method. And basically the reason it works so well is because we keep everything super simple at the beginning. So for instance, his first videos were quite simple, easy to make. He barely put any time or effort into them.
I'm giving you the trades that are actually paying the most right now that nobody's talking about. And listen, these are real careers with real numbers.
And by doing that, you're able to figure out what your audience wants, right? So you make a bunch of videos where you're not putting a ton of time and effort into them, but what you're searching for is the idea that your audience wants. It's important that you find the right ideas, because if you find the right idea, people are gonna click it and people are gonna watch your video, whether or not the video production and the thumbnail and all that other fancy stuff is good or not. If you find the right idea, that's all that matters. And once you find the right idea, that's when you can consider making it even better by editing and having good thumbnails and all that stuff. But before then, you're probably wasting your time because most ideas are not things that people care about. So there's a lot that goes into this hybrid personal brand method, but one of the biggest things is just discovering the right video ideas. And we discover these through what I like to call the hot dog method. The way I like to describe this is if you tried to open a restaurant in the middle of the desert, even if your restaurant was amazing, like Michelin street 3-star food, food, just like the best food in the world. Plus, it was only $1, right? It's like McDonald's dollar menu, but it's the best food in the world. But it's in the middle of the desert. Chances are your restaurant's gonna fail, right? So unless you built an entire city around your restaurant and built roads or railroads or flights to the middle of the desert, chances are your restaurant's gonna fail. And that is the most common mistake that I see people make. They just make random content. They're just throwing stuff against the wall in the dark. They have no idea if it's gonna work or not. And typically it doesn't work. So the second most common mistake that I see people make is they basically copy from big creators. So the analogy here with the restaurant would be that you open a restaurant, but you put it on a block where there's already a bunch of really good restaurants that serve the exact same type of food. So let's say you open a pizza shop, but you put it on a block where there's already a bunch of really, really good world-class pizza shops. And they already have raving fans, a clientele base, really good marketing. They have regular customers that go there, hundreds or thousands of them per month. And so you have a massive, massive amount of competition. So unless your content is absolutely top tier, like you're in the top 99th percentile, like you're a Mr. Beast or something like that, then chances are your restaurant is also going to fail. Or if it does succeed, it's going to take you years of hard work, basically climbing up a mountain before you finally get to the top and it gets easier. So that is the second biggest mistake, which is where creators basically just copy big creators in their niche. Also a terrible mistake. Do not copy big creators. They have a massive audience of people that know, like, and trust them. They have a massive amount of social proof, meaning like when people go to their channel, they see they have 1 million subscribers and they're like, oh, this person probably knows what they're talking about. So they just have a massive advantage over you and you should not try to copy them. Now, this is where we get to the hot dog method. I want you to make a hot dog stand, right? I want you to make the most basic content, very simple content, but you're targeting the right ideas. Because if you were to open up a hot dog stand, but you put it in a place where there's a starving crowd of people, even though hot dogs are pretty basic, they're probably like 5 out of 10. Maybe some people out there really like hot dogs, but once in a while, a hot dog's nice, but it's really like a 5 out of 10 food. There's nothing special about it. But if you open up a hot dog stand and you're around a starving crowd of people, you're gonna sell out every single time, right? So an example of this is one of my friends in college, his name was Tony. He actually opened up hot dog stands and he would put them outside of bars at night right when they closed down. And every time he did it, he would sell out hundreds of dollars. And he actually paid for his entire college tuition by doing this. So imagine you wanted to start a restaurant and you're trying to figure out like what's the best part of town to start a restaurant in. Is a smart thing to do to buy a property and then figure out if people are gonna actually go to it? Or would a smarter thing to do would be to set up a hot dog stand or some sort of food truck, something that's a lot cheaper and easier to do, and then figure out what parts of town has the most demand for that type of food. And then once you did that, maybe consider buying a property there. Well, obviously, number 2 is the smarter way to do it if you're starting a restaurant. Because when it comes to a restaurant, the most important thing is the location. And when it comes to YouTube videos, the most important thing by far is the idea. If you make a YouTube video on the right idea, everything else can be mediocre and the video is still gonna do well. But you have to find the right ideas. And that is the single most important part of the hybrid personal brand method. So if you find videos with the right ideas, you make the simplest videos ever, even just recording with your phone. Just boop, record with your phone or record on your computer, just recording your screen. Just the simplest videos ever. Eventually, one of them is gonna take off and you're gonna get to 1,000 subscribers. For my brother, it was his very first video. Took him 19 days to get to 1,000 subscribers. And these were good subscribers, people that actually cared about what he had to say. 10 out of 10 subscribers. They didn't care about the editing or the fancy thumbnail. He didn't have to trick them into watching the video. He literally was just talking about something that they cared about, and he made content that he could easily help them with, which in his case was on trade careers. So this is a very basic version, but if you want to learn more than that, go ahead and attend the live training this week by clicking the link in the description and the pinned comment below. Definitely do not miss out on it. It is a one-time event. We're giving away an AI just one time that's gonna help you grow and make money on YouTube. And this is an AI I worked a ton on the last few weeks. So do not miss out on it. We're also gonna help you select your niche if that's something that you're having trouble with, and any other of the basics of getting your YouTube channel started. Additionally, I know that 99% of people that watch these videos are never gonna work directly with myself or my team. I have worked with 10-figure companies, 9-figure companies, 8-figure companies, 7-figure companies, but I also work with a lot of personal brands, just solopreneurs or small businesses. But I know that 99% of people watching this video, I'm never gonna work with. But maybe you're one of the 1%, or maybe you know somebody who's part of that 1% that I could work with. So here's who we actually work with. We like to work with business owners that basically want to use YouTube as a way to get leads. We like to work with YouTubers who are getting views, but they're struggling to monetize. We like to work with YouTubers who are crushing it, but they want to crush it even more on YouTube. And we like to work with people who are basically willing to take YouTube very, very seriously, right? So you have to be willing to take YouTube very seriously, and you need to be able to start right now. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and book a call with us, a strategy session, down in the description of the pinned comment below. If it's not down there, check our About section on the YouTube channel. We're very picky about who we work with. We only work with a very select amount of people. Only about 18% of the people who apply to work with us actually get through, because we want to make sure that there is a very high probability that we can get you results. So if that sounds like you, book the call. About section or in the description in the pinned comment below, and you will get a lot of value from this call, whether or not we end up working together or not. And if you want to check out an example of a client who worked with us and we got them crazy good results, you can check that out by clicking right here.